Hello and welcome to The Perspective on NTV World. I am Sabika Shrestha, your host for the weekly current affairs program. Here we pick the news of the week, unpack its political significance and examine how today's decision shape tomorrow's direction. This week, our focus is on the Nepali Congress, Nepal's oldest and largest democratic party, once again at the center of national attention amid leadership debates, reform pressures and questions about its future course. As the country is heading for House of Representatives election on March 5, the split has raised doubts within the people how Nepal's political dynamics will be shaped. Will it affect the election is a million-dollar question at the moment. This issue featured in most of bulletins this week on NTV World. Nepali Congress is one of the oldest and most influential political parties in Nepal's modern history. Established in 1947, it has been at the forefront of democratic movements that toppled autocratic regime, restored multi-party democracy and shaped constitutional governance. From the overthrowing of the Rana regime to its leading role in the 1990 and 2006 people's movements, the party has shaped Nepal's democratic identity and state-building efforts. Ideologically rooted in democratic socialism, Nepali Congress has led multiple governments, contributed to federal restructuring and driven key policy debates. Yet, its historical prominence has been accompanied by cycles of internal rivalry and factionalism, dynamics that continue to influence its present-day politics. Does the split ahead of March 5 election weaken Nepali Congress position? To discuss more on this issue, we spoke to sociologist and political analyst Pranav Kharel. As we are talking about the development in Nepali Congress, how do you see the split in the party?
I do not consider it split as yet because the matter is sub judice in the Supreme Court and the court will eventually decide. But however, I believe that there is a strong division within the party, which is a culmination of a long internal mess that the party has been for over several years now. So we are seeing a result of it. One of the reasons for this was the failure of the leadership, of then leadership, to give vitality to the internal life and internal democracy of the party.
Is it a formal split or will it eventually be a single party as claimed by the leaders even today?
Both sides, the Deoga faction and Gagan Thapa faction, they are playing their cards very close to their chest because the Gagan Thapa faction has made it clear that they are willing to accommodate the other faction. At the same time, the other faction, the Deoga faction, has also made it clear that they would like to mend fences because given the fact that we are at the doorsteps of the election scheduled for March 5th, the party leadership, I think there is some sanity prevailing on both sides of the leadership.
How do you view the rise of Gagan Thapa within the Congress?
Rise of Gagan Thapa is quite interesting because his rise has to be viewed in the development that the country went through last 20 years. He was he rose to prominence as a young student leader during the protest of 2006, and ever since then he has championed the cause of the political agendas of the said movement, for example, republicanism, federalism, inclusion. And in order to do so, he has also been able to mobilize networks within the party and also outside. He's been a very smooth operator comes to stitching alliances. So we could see that in the 14th general election of the party, he had sided with one particular faction. Then in the 15th, he sided with another and then eventually became the Gensec. So he's also a very fresh face in the party, given the context where the Gen Z protest has been demanding change in the leadership. He's a fresh face and he's also shown his ability to communicate with the Gen Zs and the evolving political developments.
Mr. Kharel, has the party's internal conflict weakened its electoral position? Can we say so?
The party's internal structures have been in mess for a long period of time. And on this, I would also like to point fingers at the at both Gagan Thapa and Vishprakash Sharma, who were general secretaries for the past 3 years, and they were responsible for running the party structure. However, the then leader of the party, Sher Bahadur Deuba, is also to equally share the blame because they've not been able to vitalize the internal party structure. Secondly, Nepali Congress is an ideology-driven, mass-based party, but given the fact that in several elections now, or in several political setups now, we have seen that the party has gone for example, pre-poll alliances with political parties that are ideologically opposed to it. So that created a lot of dissatisfaction among the party rank and file, and that was not sounding well for the party.
Thank you for your time and insights, Mr. Kharel. Only for the second time in its more than 80-year-long history, the country's most potent political force, the Nepali Congress, convened a special general convention. This unprecedented event arose from deep disagreements between party factions, particularly between long-standing leadership and younger reformist forces over leadership direction and internal democracy. The Special General Convention of Nepali Congress that kicked off in Kathmandu against the decision of the Work Execution Committee 2 weeks ago will enter the business end on Monday only. The Special General Convention, being held only for the second time in the 80-year-long history of the party, has backing of more than 54% General Convention representatives. Though the opening day only saw addresses from the party leaders who were univocal in demanding change in the leadership, the closed session scheduled for Monday will be crucial for the future of the party. Initiated by the two General Secretaries Gagan Thapa and Vishprakash Sharma, this special General Convention has gradually got the backing from the leaders who were earlier guardians of the inception side. Prominent leaders from inception side including Binod Chaudhary, Dila Sangraula, Uday Samsir Rana, Devendra Raj Karnel, Pushpa Bhushal, Gopal Man Shrestha, Arjun Narsingh Kesi and Prakash Man Singh were also seen in this special convention. Though the inception side leaders have not appeared or commented on the special general convention, they were eagerly watching the developments at Prikuti Mandap. The special general convention comes at a politically sensitive time as parties prepare for upcoming elections. The establishment, led by party president Sher Bahadur Deuba, said that it would weaken the party ahead of the elections. Supporters of the convention, on the other hand, argue that it is fully grounded in the party statute and will further strengthen the party as per the spirit of the recent Gen Z movement. From early morning, party cadres and delegates organized rallies and processions from multiple locations across the Kathmandu Valley. While it remains uncertain whether it will immediately lead to leadership changes, the outcome is widely seen as a critical test for party unity and the balance of power between the reformist youth faction and the long-dominant establishment camp. Another major question at the moment lies on what will happen if Monday's closed session officially announces a split in the party. Will that be accepted by the Election Commission that has almost finalized the closest list of parties for proportional election? The legalities and beyond do not seem to be the concern at the moment for the special convention organizers, who, despite claiming that the party will remain intact, are pushing for the change in the leadership. The Special General Convention that was initially called for 2 days extended by 2 more days at the Prikuti Mandap of Kathmandu. For the then inception side led by Sher Bahadur Deuba and the then renegades championed by 2 General Secretaries Gagan Thapa and Vishprakash Sharma, it was a strategy to buy time. Bhavana Kesi was on the convention venue to record the developments on that day.
As the closed session of Nepali Congress's Special General Convention has been extended, decisions on election process for leadership selection and other key issues are likely withheld until the two sides sit for negotiations. The second-rung leaders, including Shekhar Koirala and Shashank Koirala, tried to break the ice over the indifference shown by the inception side over the majority-backed Special Convention on Monday. The developments following Party President Sher Bahadur Deuba's consultation with his loyalists and then the Koiralas led to summoning of the Central Committee meeting scheduled for Tuesday. They were earlier adamant to the calls of general secretaries, seem to be exercising some flexibility after seeing the sentiments of the majority of the General Convention members. The closed session, which was supposed to move ahead with the election process on Monday, has been extended to accommodate the inception side, according to the general secretaries. In the session at Brikudi Mandap, 9 separate groups, including 7 based on the 7 provinces and 2 based on the Valley and the sister organizations, have been formed. Thapa's political proposal on contemporary issues outlined a vision to transform the party into a dynamic and advanced democratic force.
तर सिद्धान्तको राजनीति सबभन्दा महत्त्वपूर्ण कुरा हो भन्ने कुरा यो खण्डमा मैले चर्चा गरेको छु। सुशासन र भ्रष्टाचार नियन्त्रणका सन्दर्भमा यसको लामो व्याख्या छ, तपाईले अहिले पछि पढ्नु होला। त्यसपछाडि चुस्त सार्वजनिक सेवा प्रवाह, यसका बारेमा कुराकानी गरेको छु। कार्यमूलक लोकतन्त्र र दलीय सुधार, यसका बारेमा कुरा गरेको छु। संविधान संशोधनमा साझा धारणा, श्रद्धेय सुशील कोइरालाको नेतृत्वमा बनेको संविधान, यो संविधानमा हामीलाई गर्व पनि छ र यो संविधानको निरन्तर रूपमा अगाडि बढ्नुपर्छ भन्ने हाम्रो मान्यता पनि छ। अहिले केन्द्रीय कार्य समिति आफैले आयोजना गरेको भए के हुन्थ्यो, हामी यसलाई लेख्थ्यौं, यो लेखेर तयार गरिसकेपछि केन्द्रीय समितिमा लिएर जान्थ्यौं, केन्द्रीय समितिले यसलाई पारित गर्थ्यो, केन्द्रीय समितिले पारित गरिसकेपछि हामी महाधिवेशनमा लिएर आउँथ्यौं, महाधिवेशन फेरि सर्वोच्च निकाय केन्द्रीय समितिले लिएको कुरालाई पुरै खारेज गरेर तपाईहरुले नयाँ गर्न पनि सक्नुहुन्थ्यो। हामी त्यो बाटो यसपालि हिँड्ने मौका पाएनौं, तर कुरा एउटै हो, अहिले यो प्रस्तावित हो। अब छलफल गरेर हलले यसलाई जे पारित गर्छ, यसमा केही कुरा थप्नु छ थप्छौं, हटाउनु छ हटाउँछौं, घटाउनु छ घटाउँछौं र त्यसपछाडि यो महाधिवेशनले पारित गरिसकेपछि यो पार्टीको दस्तावेज हुन्छ।
While Thapa and company insist that the Special General Convention incorporates the Gen Z sentiments, Dewa and his loyalists are still calling the move illegitimate. All eyes will be set for Tuesday's Central Committee meeting, where the General Secretaries will have the upper hand, while the inception side will have to listen and propose a win-win situation. Otherwise, as claimed by the Special Convention supporters, the constitutional gathering will not end until changing even the leadership.
Weeks before the upcoming parliamentary elections, Nepali Congress formally split into 2 factions. Following the Special General Convention, the Election Commission officially recognized the Gagan Thapa-led Nepali Congress as the legitimate party ahead of the scheduled polls. This decision followed a contested internal struggle over party statutes and convention. The case is now at the bench of the apex court of the country, and the row is likely to dominate the political discourse for another week.
From Gen Z voices to the streets to an open revolt inside the party, Nepali Congress has split once again. Generational frustration, delayed party reforms, and an establishment unwilling to listen have now turned into a full-scale power struggle between senior leaders and a younger generation of stalwarts. The crisis resulted in the most dreaded split of arguably the largest party in Nepali politics for the 3rd time in its 80-year-plus history. Party General Secretary duo Gagan Thapa and Vishwa Prakash Sharma revolted, citing delays in holding the General Convention in time, and organized the Special General Convention, gaining majority with 56.12% attendance of General Convention delegates. For the party establishment, it was indiscipline, which followed suspension of general secretaries and deputy secretary. The result was due to the lack of acceptance of the senior generation in embracing the sentiments of change sweeping through the country after the Gen Z movement. Through the Special General Convention, the younger faction elected Gagan Thapa as party leader, with Pradeep Paudel and Gururaj Ghimire as general secretaries. Unnoticed, but the most remarkable was the role of Gagan Thapa's colleague Vishwa Prakash, who relinquished all posts but stood by his side for the sake of self-co-championed reform. This marks the 3rd major split in the Nepali Congress in its 80-year-long history, driven once again by internal power struggles. Both factions have now filed separate claims at the Election Commission. The dispute is expected to reach the Supreme Court, raising questions ahead of the March 5 elections. Beyond the legal battle, the split reflects a deeper generational shift within Nepal's oldest democratic party. A generation no longer willing to wait is now challenging how political party is exercised from within. The question now remains, will the party split affect the upcoming elections?
Before the special general convention, there were talks of the party heading to an imminent split. However, leaders of both the sides said they were effortful to avoid possible split. According to both the sides, even today the party is one. But the Election Commission's legitimacy to the special convention side means the other side is outlawed now. Following Gagan Kumar Thapa's election as the president of the Nepali Congress at a special general convention, uncertainty over the March 5 election has deepened. Despite Thapa's claim of being the inception side now, the first meeting of the special general convention elected executive committee was held at a private banquet hall in Kupandol. The Sher Bahadur Devwa-led side, on the other hand, intensified legal consultations as the claim over the party flag and election symbol has reached the Election Commission. Raghav Gautam of the party's Central Information, Communication and Publicity Department said the conflict has been long-standing.
Nepali Congress has this special clause in their constitution, the clause 17.2, which guarantees the right of those delegates to ask for a special convention if they deem it necessary for the change in leadership or maybe the change in policies to basically the ask was to hold a special convention, but the party leadership, the existing party leadership didn't think that it was necessary for them to even address that basic demand, and that led to this most unfortunate event in the entire political history of Nepal.
The battle has started now with one side claiming that they had convened the special general convention as per party statute, while the other remaining firm on the need of endorsing the special general convention from the central committee. Gagan Thapa and Vishwaprakash Sarma, who lacked majority in the central committee, opted to bypass the leadership in their attempt to revolt against the older generation. The dispute is expected to end up in the Supreme Court, raising concerns about its impact on the upcoming elections. Advocate Radheshyam Adhikari said the Election Commission would prioritize majority support if procedures were followed.
निर्वाचन आयोगले अब धेरै कुरा हेर्नुपर्ने छैन. विशेष अधिवेशन भयो कि भएन, यति कुराको निर्णय दिए पुग्छ. त्यो विशेष अधिवेशन भयो भन्ने लाग्दछ निर्वाचन आयोगलाई भनेदेखि त्यो चाहिँ अब संस्थापन पक्ष त्यो हुन्छ. अब यदि त्यो कुरा विशेष अधिवेशन भएकै छैन भन्ने निर्वाचन आयोगलाई लाग्छ भने त्यो अवस्थामा चाहिँ अर्कै कुरा हुन्छ. कांग्रेसको विधान भनेको निर्वाचन आयोगको पनि सहमतिले बनेको हुन्छ र त्यो विधानको धारा 17(2) ले विशेष अधिवेशन बोलाउनलाई योग्यता पुगेका महाधिवेशन प्रतिनिधिहरूले बोलाइसकेपछि र त्यो कुरा चाहिँ सम्पन्न भइसकेपछि त्यसले जे आउटकम ल्याएको छ त्यो आउटकमलाई चाहिँ निर्वाचन आयोगले मान्नुपर्छ.
Political analysts warn that the unresolved legal battle within Nepal's oldest democratic party could reshape electoral dynamics and alliances in the weeks ahead. Following this split, Nepali Congress today stands at the crossroads between its historic legacy and an uncertain future. Whether it can reconcile internal reform, leadership transition and public confidence will not only shape its own trajectory but also have profound implications for Nepal's broader political landscape. That's the perspective for this week. Thank you for watching NTV World. I am Sabika Shrestha. We'll see you next week.